Are you looking to make extra money? Would $100, $200, maybe even $1,000 extra a month help you out? Absolutely it would. In this video, I want to show you exactly how to do that. We'll talk about pricing, listing, shipping, and sourcing. Those are just four elements of reselling that I find very important. And at the very end, you want to make sure you stick around because I'm going to give you a bonus. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is pricing. This is something that is extremely important, and it's honestly the first thing that I would check if you are having slow sales. Okay, this is what most buyers are looking at right off the bat. A lot of people are very price sensitive. I know I'm one of those shoppers who, if I see a price and it's way too high, then I'll just go ahead and click on somebody else's. And so, price is extremely important. We are competing, and so we want to make sure that we are looking at the market to see, okay, for a Columbia shirt, what is the market on that? I.e., what are other people charging for? What has it sold for? That determines the market. So, are you selling pre-owned? Are you selling new? All those things are important and are going to assist in helping you to price that item the right way. Okay. So then you also want to do your research. Okay. So a lot of that is looking at the solds on eBay to see, okay, what has actually sold for what amount, and then you can use Terapeak as a guide to help you out. Just put in the title, and then it usually populates with several items that are very similar to yours, and it tells you how much they sold for, how much the shipping was. So there's really no excuse to not have your items priced correctly. And then lastly, you want to consider your cost of goods sold as well, because that's going to determine how much you can charge for items. And so, really, you want to make sure that whenever you're buying stuff, that it's going to meet or satisfy your cogs. So if I'm looking, I know my cogs are going to be around, 15, are going to be around $4, then I know that I have to sell that item for, 15 plus, 20 plus. And so maybe if an item is only going to yield $9, I just go ahead and leave it. And so, but that comes, later on down the road as you begin to get more familiar with purchasing and with sourcing and just with the overall market. So, but those are some things that you want to tighten up on and what you want to be aware of. One of the key things is to understand the cost. Okay, how much does it cost to ship out items? And to understand that, you're going to have to know how much stuff weighs. So for me, I sell a lot of clothing, and I know that a lot of the clothing can be sold as first class, and first class is typically 1 pound and under, and usually you'll pay anywhere from $3 to $6. $6 is going to be on that higher end, and it's going to be for stuff that's further away from where you live. But in that event, I like to use just some regular poly bags and just put on the scale, weigh it, and ship it out. I also like using just the priority flat rate envelopes. This is $7.60 now for us to be able to ship those out, but I'll put in jeans and anything that will really fit in there, and that's just a flat fee. And so these are usually my go-to. With hats, I have some smaller boxes that are usually provided by the post office, but that's just something that you want to be aware of your costs and have a good understanding of how to ship out those items and what you can use to ship out those items. I've got a tape dispenser here. I like to tape up, reinforce the edges around here, or if I'm taping up the boxes with the hats in there, that also comes into play as well. But I try to keep it as simple as I possibly can. There are more options out there, but for me, it just doesn't make much sense to use anything else. If I were going to be shipping out some shoes, I could put those in a priority padded flat rate envelope, which is going to be at the post office as well. And I can link to a video that I've done about how to purchase free or how to go about ordering free supplies from the post office, because that's what I do. Place a big order, they'll deliver it right to my doorstep. And then lastly, I want to talk about pickup drop offs. Some people, some resellers like to actually take their items, their orders once they finish to the post office, have them physically scan it.
I don't have the time for that because I usually have quite a few orders to ship out every day. So what I'll do once I finish, I'll put them in a bin, and then I'll leave them on the doorstep or on the porch, and my mail carrier, once they come by to deliver mail, will pick it up at that time. You do have to schedule pickups, and so you can do that on the USPS website, and you can just basically schedule those for the rest of the year. That's what I do. Once a year, I'll go in and just schedule it for the entire year. They pick it up for me. All I have to do is leave it out on the porch. So you make your money when you buy. Okay, so that's why sourcing is so important, because if I purchase an item that I know I'm going to make 30, 40, $50 on, um, versus buying an item that that will probably make $5, $10, but I think it's gonna make $30, is just basically crazy. Okay, so that's why sourcing is important. Knowing what you're buying, knowing what's in demand, knowing what the market actually is saying about those items. And so sourcing is something that I take very seriously. I'm constantly on the souls looking at what is selling, at the price points, what brands are doing well, what sizes are doing well, what styles, what colors. Like, there's so much that goes into sourcing rather than just buying it because the brand is good. Okay, because you may buy an item and the brand itself is good, like as a whole is good, but then you got an extra small, and the extra smalls don't sell very well. So there's a lot of intricacies to sourcing, and you get better as time goes by. So I really have tried to become more of a sniper when it comes to sourcing. Like, I'm really trying to focus in on like the higher value items, as opposed to just buying stuff, randomly. And so the sourcing part, like I said, that is going to come, as you begin to learn more and more about your niche, or more and more about the area that you want to buy in. And if you're buying in a lot of different areas right now, that's fine. But also try to get stuff that has really good quality, stuff that's in good shape. And so when I'm buying, that's the time, for me to decide if this is something that I want my buyer to actually have. Like, if it has a stain on there, if it has a hole on there, maybe I just don't even get it, because I don't want to risk, missing something, and then the buyer, give me a return or give me a negative feedback. So all of that can be controlled at the time of the buy. So that's why sourcing is so important.
Okay. Next, we'll take a look at listing. Listing is very, very important. And so we're going to go ahead and look at an actual draft that I've already done, that we're getting ready to launch here today. So we've got some photos on here, got plenty of photos, and they're clear, they're well lit. You can see the size on there. I got measurements. I've got just about everything that the customer is going to need. And I've basically answered most of the questions that they could possibly have. I've anticipated that. That comes with experience. But the pictures are there. And then the title is very optimized. Lululemon leggings, women's 8 blue capri link workout yoga gym compression. You want to use as many keywords as possible, because that is what's going to help buyers to be able to find your listing. Okay, it helps you to stand out from the crowd. Okay, we'll go down a little bit further. Category is important, so make sure your category is right on par. These are athletic.
Beds or activewear beds. So we'll go ahead and use that. And then also we've got, our item specifics. This is going to work in conjunction with your keywords, or with your titles. So you want to stack as many keywords as possible. So we got our color here. Some of that's repetitive, is what you saw up here. But we come down, we just fill out as much information as we can. Because again, we're just trying to help out eBay and help out the buyer to be able to find this item, and eBay to be able to match it uh, with the buyer's requests. Okay, but that's basically it. Um, for the listing, you just want to make sure that it's optimized. There goes the price again. Again, we want to be close to market. Make sure that shipping costs is accurate. Boom, and then we would go ahead and list it. But that's all there is to listing. So as promised, I do have a bonus. Okay, before I get to that bonus, I do want to mention that I have another video that is going to be coming out after this one, and it is going to basically break down what I wish I knew before I started reselling. So you don't want to miss that. Okay. So the bonus tip that I have for you is to have a schedule. Okay. If you're a full-time, worker, it's so important for you to just kind of schedule that time that you're going to do your listings or photograph, or you're going to go source, or you're going to go ship out your items. Like, as long as you have a plan in place, you're going to be successful. And if you are full time, then I can't express to you enough how important it is for you to have that schedule, for you to have that plan. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, or you're not optimizing your time, to the best of your abilities. And when you're full time, you have an opportunity to really, really crush it. Even if you're part time, you're doing this part time, you have an opportunity to really, really crush it. And one of the best ways to do that is by having a plan, having a schedule, and sticking to it. Appreciate you guys for joining me. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you later. I'm going to finish up this coffee. See you guys later.